Oh yeah. Yeah. Hello and good day, science fanatics. Welcome to our mini vlog. This is group number 3's leader, Napoleon, and I will be your main speaker for this vlog. I, along with my group mates, Charlene, Althea, Mika, Jelo, Luke, Marco, and Renz, will be identifying which view of motion is more acceptable. The Aristotelian view of motion or the Galileo's view of motion. Background check!
Aristotle was ancient Greek philosopher who thought that heavier objects fall faster than lighter ones.
Galileo, on the other hand, is credited the Aristotelian view of motion. He stated that the object in a vacuum will fall at the same time, because in a vacuum there is nothing, since there is no air or anything in space. Objects that are heavy or light will fall at the same time.
Now, in order for us to identify which view of motion is more acceptable, we tested 3 experiments to whether Aristotle's or Galileo's view of motion is more acceptable. We dropped 2 different objects with different mass and weight at the same time and at the same height vertically. First, we dropped the book in a flat sheet of paper. Second, we dropped the book in a sheet of paper crumpled to a ball. And third, we dropped the book with a small flat sheet of paper on top of the book. Now these experiments helped us identify which view of motion is more acceptable. So, science fanatics, are you siding with Aristotle? Or are you siding with Galileo? Now let's find out. Now we have Charlene and Jelo to demonstrate the 3 experiments that we did. Now that the experiments are demonstrated, we will now be able to answer the guide questions to strengthen the proof on which view of motion is more acceptable. Now we have here Mika to answer the following questions. First, in all 3 cases, which object reaches the ground first?
In the first experiment, we can see that the heavy book reaches the ground first while the flat sheet of paper falls slowly. However, we can see that in the second and third experiment, both objects fell at the same rate of time.
Considering the first experiment, what causes the flat sheet of paper to move sideways?
It can be identified that the reason why the flat sheet of paper moves sideways, falling down, is due to its air resistance acting on the solo flat sheet of paper.
In experiments number 2 and 3, why did the objects fall at the same rate regardless of their masses?
Both objects fall at the same rate in activities 2 and 3 because of the constant acceleration of gravity. The viewpoint that objects fall at the same rate regardless of mass is more acceptable due to the consistency of gravitational acceleration.
Also, due to the paper being crumpled and the flat sheet of paper being on top of the book, there is no presence of air resistance which makes them fall at the same rate.
Now, we have been debating whether which view of motion is acceptable, Aristotle or Galileo's. There is evident proof that both views can be accepted.
In the first experiment, Aristotle's view was supported. We can clearly see that the book, which has a heavier mass and weight, fell much faster than the flat sheet of paper, which has a lesser mass and weight than the book. On the other hand, in experiment number 2 and number 3, Galileo's view of motion was supported. Due to no air resistance, regardless of their masses, both objects fell at the same rate. So, it is safe to say that both views of motion is highly acceptable. just in different cases. Don't you agree? Well then, science fanatics, we hope that these pieces of knowledge have broadened your understanding about the Aristotelian view and the Galileo's view of motion. Thank you, science fanatics, for watching our video.